Hi there, and welcome to the Experience Podcast. My name is Dennis. I'm a spiritual being walking around in a meat suit. And today, I'm excited to have these two amazing human beings here. And go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name's Anthony, and first I just want to say that bowl just sounded amazing underneath this thing. That was just incredible resonance of that. That was crazy.
My name is Neil. I am a multi-dimensional spiritual being that's having a human experience. And we're here live, literally in Costa Rica. The volume may be picking up the sound of the cicadas in the background. And even if the audio is not picking it up, our ears definitely are picking it up. The cicadas are very prevalent, and we're here in the first earthquaking physical village. The virtual village has been around for a while, and this is now the physical manifestation of what was only before virtual. So being in this physical village, what has been your experience, Anthony? I guess how did you get here?
Well, I got here, my girlfriend, my now fiance, wife to be, Bianca, at the time, had found earthwaking before I did. And it was actually when she was in the visionary program doing these distinction videos. And, it's like, what are you doing? What's going on? And she's what led me to this beautiful, magical of a place. And she was with the movement before the physical village. And it was I had a job traveling, and she moved here originally as soon as the first village became a thing. And once she moved here, that's when I was like, wow, like it's real, it's real. And
you can now touch it.
You can touch it and feel it. And I got a taste, and I went to my first Awaken Life Live. That ended up turning into the solution, but it was a life-changing weekend regardless, and ever since I was like, I'm in. I went home and sold all my shit, and I just signed a lease on a new place, and I found somebody to take my lease right over, and wow, here we are in heaven, so it's crazy.
So you had mentioned that, it's real now, like the definition of real, like, heaven on earth, like what, can you elaborate on, like they can only see us right here,
right?
But if they could only see an experience out there, like what can you share that can elaborate on that statement?
I mean, it's just, we're on what, 5 acres here, just under 5 acres, building beautiful homes. Every square inch of green that isn't a home is food or some sort of plant to help benefit. I mean, you see all of our pets running around here, all our jungle pets, as we call them now, because they run free. Dougie used to be a dog that he had to be on a leash everywhere. He just wouldn't listen, and I mean, he still doesn't listen all that great, but he's just free. He's just free to roam as he would be anywhere. And it's incredible. I mean, like the cicadas, like if you can hear them, like Neil was saying, we hear them, and it's just, we're surrounded by nature, and heaven is created within, and heaven could be created wherever you may be, but to be here where everybody is creating heaven from within, giving it, throughout and without, and it just literally makes this place heaven. Like it's insane. Even just the love, even like if you had no idea you were just come here and experience, us for a weekend, you probably get more love in a weekend than you've gotten in however many years old you are. So it's just crazy. It's cool.
It is. That's like being able to articulate it is one thing, and then the experiential side of it is a whole other aspect to it. And For example, like Dennis and I have been just planting and expressing what like my joy and greatest pleasure is to plant things and to see them grow. And then there's the planting of the seed and there's the watering of the seed and then there's that's all great and dandy. And then the best part is the harvesting of the fruit and actually seeing the fruit of the seed that you harvested. And that's being done on many levels that are not plant related. There's seeds being planted everywhere. There's
In here and all over there.
exactly. Like the house seeds, for example, like those have been incorporated and been being watered, and now what's becoming manifest is these beautiful 3-story condos that are like people are now living in them. And actually you are the owner of one of those
Yes.
beautiful condos.
Yes, we are, and they are incredible. Fully off the grid, fully regenerative, 100%. All solar powered. Our hot water is solar powered. It's like literally it's hot water pumped to the roof that goes through solar panels and comes back into the home. Like it's just incredible. The houses are being finished now, but we have a plan for basically in front of our homes, the new homes that we built is basically going to be a huge luscious garden of fruit trees, and we plan to do gray water systems right from the house that's used to water these trees and give us the fruits, literally water these seeds, especially during dry season here, because we have 2 seasons here in Costa Rica, winter and summer, or rainy season and dry season, because it's always hot. You don't know when it's winter. But we basically will be able to use what we are using, the remnants thereof, to grow our fruits, to water our seeds, literally. And it's just incredible. Just what's come in the last 6 months. Literally, it's been 6 months since we first broke ground on this place pretty hard, and the changes are just immaculate, incredible. And we just make more changes, and the whole village soon, hopefully within about like the next 6 months or so, is fully going to be off the grid, fully solar. It isn't currently. It was an establishment before that was all powered and everything and hooked to the city water connection. But we have our big tank, our big massive 10,000 gallon tank at the top of the hill now, just waiting for our well to be finished. So our water is all going to be regenerative. And we just had a meeting with somebody else to help get our solar. That we purchased our solar systems from to get 3 more buildings on solar now, which only leaves like a handful left that aren't powered by the sun yet. But that's just a matter of time. Pretty soon, the sun is literally going to be powering everything here in this village, so including us.
And there's this building right behind us that's sort of the main eating and hangout area with an attached kitchen. With refrigerators and freezers, and this entire building right here is completely run off of solar.
100%.
100% not connected to any grid other than the natural ecosystem. And so on the gray water system, you have some like in-depth knowledge on the implementation and what actually goes into co-creating this. Yeah. And also the fruit trees and things that actually get incorporated to implement it. Yeah. Could you go more in depth on the actual implementation, the purpose of it, and what is involved with the gray water systems?
Yeah, absolutely. So gray water is essentially the water that isn't toilet water, but is used water. So like your sink water or your shower, nothing that is harmful. There's black water, which is like septic water, and there's gray water, which is like shower and sink water. And the only thing really harmful in gray water is essentially like the soaps and things that you may use in the shower or in your kitchen. So what they do for gray water systems is you essentially have these gullies and things where your gray water will empty into, and then along those gray water gullies.
These gullies are in the dirt, or do they have something?
So there's multiple ways to do it. You can build special structures depending on where you are. Like maybe you're in a city, you know, like and you don't have dirt and you only have pavement. You can make gray water systems out of like cement cylinders and make your own kind of contraptions with gravel and things like that. But here in the village, in the woods, if you will, here in Costa Rica, the easiest option, and for other people out there too, if you have, you know, a little yard or you have some grass area, you can just simply dig a trench into the dirt and plant things along that trench that essentially are going to suck this water up, absorb this water, use this water to grow, and it essentially cleans the water and removes the toxins, if you will, from the gray water or the soaps, things like that, before the water gets to like the rivers and streams. Here in Costa Rica, we're on mountainsides, so everybody's number one goal is pretty much get the water away from the mountain and to the river as quick as you can. But in that, you know, you can put soaps and things like that into rivers, and then so it's essentially we are caring for the environment as well as the people downstream and down the mountain from us, if you will, by trying to purify the water as much as we can before just sending it their way. And in building these systems, you use more trees next to the water gullies because trees have a larger absorption rate through their trunks before the water actually gets to the fruits. So it has more of a purification process before the nutrients in the tree get to the fruits. So anything that's bad in the gray water won't actually be produced in the fruits. Like say bananas. A lot of people use banana trees because they grow very quickly. They have a lot of nutrient rich base that uses a lot of water in the absorption, as well as the actual peels on the bananas themselves are another layer of nutrient absorption through their you know usage of the water. So bananas are a big one. A lot of people will plant like flowers and bushes and things like that, things that you aren't necessarily eating, like citronella, that kind of stuff that you would use but wouldn't necessarily consume. You wouldn't want to plant like lettuce because it's a you know it's a ground based little little guy that the leaves that you eat are essentially what is absorbing the water. So you would want to stay away from little things that are using the water directly into the parts that we eat. So like decorative things like banana trees, and here we have lots of lychee trees, we have mango trees. So it all depends on like the size of the area that you have. So you can have larger trees, or bananas are good because they're so quick. Banana trees grow quick, and they absorb a lot of water in that creation process.
So, like for the people that are maybe watching this, like back in the United States, and like all the pharmaceuticals going into the rivers and the lakes and all that. Yep. This is something they could implement back there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even if you have a small yard, if you have half an acre or something, the most difficult part of a gray water system, especially in the States, is mainly just redirecting your shower and like laundry drainage into the yard, because many people their drainage goes right into the septic systems or right into their city sewer line, things like that. So here in Costa Rica, it's much more septic is just for septic, because why fill it with more than you need to? And gray water really isn't that harmful. There's a much more larger like bad taste, I guess, on gray water in the States. Everybody thinks that if touched your body, it's no longer good water, but that's not true. It's gray water really isn't that dangerous at all. And by doing what we're doing, we're just purifying it even more and using it to grow things that we're just also going to eat. So it's a catch-22. You get multiple benefits from all of it. So it is doable in the States. You certainly can redirect like your shower waters and your sink water, your laundry drain from your washing machine right out to your yard, and you essentially just make trenches that go through your backyard. If you have a sloping yard, start from the top and have it go somewhere, and you just plant along those trenches, and you essentially can turn half an acre into a beautiful garden of edible things that can keep your family fed for years. So it is doable.
And making Mother Earth happy.
Yes, Mother Earth, and even just if you don't have to worry about water going into rivers, back in the States, even the water that gets evaporated into the air that then comes back down as rain, it's the same thing as sending water into a river. It's all going somewhere and coming back somewhere. So
That's very accurate.
yeah, the more you can reuse it, repurpose it, and clean it up in that process, you're only helping Mother Nature and your kids' kids, in the future. So,
And their kids.
yeah, and their kids, and their kids.
Because if we don't do it, nobody else will.
Exactly.
It's up to you, it's up to me, it's up to everyone.
You got to go first.
So, speaking of going first, this question is phrased specifically to Dennis, and then I'm curious to hear what Anthony has to say about it. What are some things that have like blown your mind since you've been here living in the physical earthquake village? Like some things that are just like out of like they're in this world obviously because we're experiencing them, but like from how we were living to now living here, what are just some insurmountable, amazing things that you've experienced being here? So the number one thing or the first thing that comes to mind that I feel is the vulnerability and like being able to be vulnerable and share my emotions, share my thoughts, share my feelings, and not being judged for it, and being in this environment, like in the old world, like that was not even a thought because nobody was really feeling it. And so, and if you would have shared, then you would have definitely been judged, very likely. So for me, that's what comes to my mind, and I'm just grateful for Anthony and Neil and for everybody else here in the community. So that's my answer. But
And for me, I mean, just being in Costa Rica, first off, the fact that there's like 60 species of stingless bees that produce like some of the world's best honey. We have 3 hives here in the village, and like when I learned that, I was like, stingless bees. Like I hated bees all my life. I was landscaping once, and I got stung like 3 times, and after that, I was like, no more bees ever. But like just the cool, like how amazing, like literally nature is here. Like it's like you couldn't even fathom just how beautiful this place is. And doing the work for sure, this village is what blew me away. And like Dennis said, being able to feel, like we're all men here, and there's no doubt about that. And being able to feel your emotions as a man and have the vulnerability with other men in this village and other women in this village, and it's just incredible what comes out, what you get to, what you touch on from the womb to the tomb that you would never even think of sharing with even some of your best friends. Like it's crazy. Like in the old world, like girls have girls' night out and all that fun stuff, and like they talk about all their shit. Guys don't do that. Guys don't do that, and here it's normal. Like if you don't do that, you're called out here because that's doing the work. And it's
and
just
that's
incredible.
looking at our data, and it's looking at the aspects of ourselves that we might not want to talk about. But then when we communicate about it and when we express it and bring it up, it transmutes it to
it dissipates. Like when we don't talk about it, it's there and it's still a thing in our bodies. But when we express it, it becomes no thing. It just moves on, and it's energy and motion that just continues to wherever. And my point is that through expressing it, it releases and it allows space to feel new elevated emotions, such as joy and such as peace and
Freedom.
even freedom and yeah, even the simple things such as just being present. A lot of the reason that we're not present is because we're feeling things from the past, and we're worried about the future. And um, like when we're able to interact and conversate and feel fully and express from our heart, we can then become fully present in the moment. And there isn't a past. It literally doesn't exist. And the future is just a continuation of present moments. So literally the only thing we have is the present moment. And what we can express in the present moment, we like present is the most powerful thing that a being can be and attain on this earth plane, this flat surface that we're on.
The greatest present. Presence is the greatest present.
It's a
Literally.
gift.
Yeah, and people don't even realize that. It's not even not realizing that, but it's not having the knowledge to realize that. You know, like people think they're good, and I'm guilty for it. You know, like in the old world, like I was good. You know, I was when I had a good job and X, Y, and Z, and then you hit that point where you're just like, this is it. You know, and like I'm glad I hit it young because like we see these actors that these people look up to for decades, and then all of a sudden one day like this actor killed themselves or something, and you're like, how? Like this person had it all, but they didn't have it all because everything you need is right here. It's within you now, and you don't have the knowledge to obtain that or to even know that. You're chasing everything from the outside, and it's being aware, and that's the best gift here that could ever be. You know,
I feel like that's a very important point what you just said, because what everything that we've shared here, is that we've shared about the physical village here is all a manifestation of what you have within you, what Neil has within him, and what like the people here that are living here. It's all a expression of what we have within ourselves. So
yeah, that is true, and even right down to what we actually do physically here. Like you guys, like love the earth and plant all these seeds, like literally, like actually plant seeds and the watering and just the maintaining of this land, and like it's so beautiful. And me, like I was on tour, like I love electrical and all that fun stuff, and here I am living my wildest kid's dreams of installing solar on homes to be fully off the grid and playing with water and how to, like it's awesome. It's like I feel like I'm a kid playing in the sandbox again, but it's life. This
It's
is
real
life.
life,
Yeah,
and it's like your greatest joy.
absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Um, so there's a event called Awaken Life Live that is being held here in the physical village, and you can come to this event. And this event, there's people that have gone to Tony Robbins events and have paid $5,000 for that event, and they speak to how this event is exponentially um, like better than any Tony Robbins event that they've gone to. And it's because of the fruits that people experience after the event. Like things in our lives actually physically change when we change what's inside of us. So that event is February 10th, 11th, and 12th, and the link is in the description. So I invite you to click that link, and it is also held virtually via Zoom. So if you're not able to come physically, you can also attend this event on Zoom from the comfort of your home, your living room, wherever you're at, you can attend this. And this thing with the fruits that people experience, what Dennis and what Anthony were speaking to about our internal state, everything outside of us is a direct manifestation of what is inside of us. So for you watching this and seeing us share our experience, what we're sharing is an expression of what's inside of us. And if you want to see what is going on inside of you, then there's a very simple method to see what's going on inside of you. And a lot of people, they don't really want to look inside of themselves. And one simple way of looking and seeing what's inside of you is become present and just have a look around outside of you. See what's going on in your life. See what your day-to-day activities are. See the people that you're talking to and see the conversations that are happening, the depth of the conversations. See everything that is going on in your external, and you can, from that, see exactly what is going on inside of you. And if there's things outside of you that you don't like or that you would like to change, then how you're going to change it is by changing what's inside of you. And then as you change your internal state, the external becomes a reflection of what's inside.
Couldn't have said it any better. That is awesome.
And something else that I want to bring up is there'll be a link in the description for this as well. If you are interested in more of, if you can relate to what we're speaking of, we also do have a virtual village online that you can link up with other people that are also manifesting heaven on earth. So you can do this from wherever you are. It doesn't have to be in Costa Rica exclusively. Like it's becoming a movement, and for you to join this movement, if you feel so called, or if you want to check us out, that link will be in the description as well. And right now there's earthwakers, people connected to this community in California, in Georgia, in the United States, in Texas. So actually another one is Florida. There's people right now connected to this community in all four of those areas that I just articulated. So if you're thinking like, well, I don't necessarily want to move, then a great step would be to connect with a virtual village and connect with people that are like local. And when I say local, in nearby states or close by where you're at. And that'd be a fantastic first step to begin to change your internal state, to see an expression come manifest outside of you that is a direct reflection of what's inside of you.
Yeah, we stretch all the way up to New York City, Maine. Actually, we have people from Maine.
I just had another one, Canada.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that too. Canada, we're all over. So wherever you are in the country, there's people probably within an arm's reach that are on the same mission we are, on the same journey we are, and yeah, it's incredible. So it doesn't matter where you are, and I highly recommend Awaken Life Live. Here in person is life-changing. It's life-changing online too. I did a few of the online events before making it here, but once I got here, I literally never left. I did because I had one more contract back in the States I had to fulfill, but after that I was right back here, and here I am. My house just got finished, and it's incredible. It's life-changing for sure.
What kind of faith did it take for you to commit to something like this?
A lot. It took a lot of faith, and I was one who never really used to have faith, to be honest with you. And I mean, I'm a prime example for like this was so quick for me, you know. Like I wasn't a huge follower of God, and like I always believed in something, but I wasn't sure of what. And you know, like I knew there was something out there that was a higher power. Then once like I learned of having faith in the leap that you take, you know, and that's what got me the latest job that I had of pouring. And I went from like a job of like, all right, this is fun, you know, I managed a nightclub. I was the tech manager for a nightclub, so like there was a party every night, and you think it would be fun at our age in life, but it got too far. I'm like, what the heck is this, you know? And then I started believing and having faith and following the journey. You know, I read John's book, and then literally 7 days later, I got an offer, more money than I've ever made in my life, to go travel the country for 6 months, fully paid for while being paid. And I was like, oh shit. You know,
Now, were you connected to the community before you read his book?
a little bit. I had done in Awaken Life Live online, so I'd gotten a taste and was kind of like, you know, that's cool. And then little shifts had kind of been happening, and then I joined the village, but wasn't like super in depth. And then once I read the book, I was kind of like, holy shit. And then another Awaken Life Live happened online, and I did that. And then after that, I became very involved, and then just all like the faith paid off, I guess you could say. Like the amount of things that were just landing in my lap, and then coming here for the 2 weeks I was here. Awaken Life Live was only a weekend, but I came for 2 weeks. It was just so life changing that I was like, I'm all in. Let's go.
Well, I just had I just had my mind blown when you were sharing, and what it was like you read his book and you were somewhat connected, but so you took in new information, you changed things in your internal state, and you got this massive job opportunity that then became manifest in your external reality because something changed internally.
Yes.
And like my mind is like doesn't have a cap right now. Like after you just sharing that, like that's really phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's a direct fruit and an example of what can occur and not only does occur when the internal state is changed and steps are taken in faith. It's taking a step without this next step being there, and that's faith.
And what I heard there is that you like at first you heard faith, and then you became the source of it.
Yes.
And you just stepped, and every step you took was in faith, and you embodied it. And that's what the manifestation, where it just doors open up.
Exactly. Like it was even just, you know, when I got the job offer, like taking it, I was like, it was a step in faith. Like I was like, this isn't real. You know, like I was like, there's no way. Like you're gonna pay for all my flights, my hotels, my food, and pay me to do this. Like I'm like, this isn't real. Like no way. I paid off debts that I had since I was like 10 years. You know, like I was like, it was just immaculate. The steps in faith was just like physically were paying off, you know. And then I was like, all right, like I don't like on to the next step, you know. Like it's just on to the next step, literally the next step in faith. Like, here we are, here we grow, you know.
Thank you for sharing that, Anna.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure. I feel complete. Is there anything that you or Dennis want to share?
I feel complete as well. I just got to say February 10, 11, 12, whether it's via Zoom or you're sitting in one of these seats right here, in here, getting it live in person. I highly recommend live in person. Come check the village out. Come stay in the village. I think we should probably put that link. I think you already said, right? You're gonna put that link
In the
description as well. Excellent. So yeah, I highly recommend it. I feel pretty good.
Yeah, and I just whatever they said, yeah.
I love you. I appreciate you. Your difference is what makes a difference. Thank you for being you.